What's going on YouTube? My name is FG3000. I'm back in the place to be and welcome back to the mobile gaming recap for the second week of April. We missed 1 week, but the good thing is nothing came out the week that I missed. So we're back at it once again. We had some pretty high profile releases with a lot of stuff on the way as well. So without any further ado, let's get into the mobile gaming recap. All right, so let's go ahead and start off with the biggest release of April thus far, The Elder Scrolls Blades. Now, technically, this game is still in early access. However, everyone can download the game at this point. There is no progress wipes, and of course the most important aspect, Bethesda is taking money from people. So for all intents and purposes, this game is live and should be critiqued as such. So I think let's kind of start off with some of the more positive aspects of the game. I think that the UI is very well done. Graphically, the game feels like an Elder Scrolls game. You have all of your favorite races and sex and tattoo combos. The dungeons feel like Elder Scrolls, you know, kind of swinging your sword at skeevers. It all feels very Elder Scrolls-like, for better or for worse, because we all know Elder Scrolls has never really been known for its combat. The combat here isn't like revolutionary by any means, but I do feel like the game gets the job done. But where it kind of starts to lose me is that I am just not really bought into the overall gameplay loop. So if you're not familiar with what you kind of do in this game, you go inside dungeons, you beat up bandits, zombies, skeletons, all of that stuff. You get a bunch of resources out of that dungeon, you come back to your main town, and you rebuild your city. Now, where it kind of loses me is that I don't feel connected to my town in any way. Like, that's not my town, right? I didn't build that town. That's just a town that's been destroyed that I'm rebuilding. So it's really kind of hard for me to get invested into this town. There's not really kind of like any deep lore that I saw in the very beginning of the game. So getting connected to this town, getting connected to the citizens, it just wasn't really there for me. But hey, that's a totally subjective opinion. I highly recommend you downloading the game and giving it a try yourself. The subreddit for this game absolutely exploded. The last time that I saw the subreddit on this game was nearing 20,000 people, and for a mobile game, that is quite impressive. Another thing that I saw was really impressive as well is that Bethesda has already started instituting changes that the community has been asking for. So one big pink elephant that was in the room was the chest system. I still don't think it's perfect, and we'll talk about that, but a lot of people are kind of complaining on some of the timers of the chest. Bethesda has already adjusted the timing on the silver chest that used to be 3 hours. Now they're only 1 hour, and that's a change that we saw in the very first week of early access. So it's clear that Bethesda is reading combat, and it's also clear that they are willing to make a change quickly. So that kind of bodes really well for the future. They got a really active subreddit. Bethesda has already shown that they're willing to do changes in the game. For as much hate as this game has been getting from, and I hate to say it, this is going to sound so gatekeeper-ish, but as much hate as this game is getting from non-mobile gaming centric type of YouTube channels and reviewers and things of that nature, I gotta say, right off the bat, Bethesda's doing a pretty good job of trying to support this title. Now, one thing I think they should go a little step further with, the chess system, I think they didn't need to copy it directly from Clash Royale. Like, that's a problem when it comes to mobile games, is that sometimes it feels like when people copy features, they copy it 100%. They don't try to improve on it. They just say, hey, that worked in Clash Royale, take that feature completely as it is and put it in our game. They didn't need to do that. I feel like they could have done a lot better. If they want to keep the chess system, why not allow me to open up multiple chests at once? That doesn't kill the game. People are still going to use gems to open them up early. All you have to do is look at Looney Tunes World of Mayhem, a game that I also play. That game allows you to open up 4 chests at a time, and that feels a little bit better than having to wait 6 hours per golden chest. Like that's just way too long to get rewards from a dungeon that you just had a bunch of fun in. You feel rewarded, you killed a boss, you cleared out all the goblins, and now here's your reward. Come back in 6 hours. I just don't think that feels good. I think they would be served a lot better if they had multiple chest timers going at the same time. But overall, I'm not really too hard on Elder Scrolls Blades. I feel like maybe subjectively it's not for me, but I do feel like maybe the future might be bright on this one. Arena mode is still in the future. We're gonna kind of see how they kind of walk that line, between allowing free-to-play players and pay-to-play players to kind of exist in that mode. But so believe it or not, I actually have a pretty positive outlook for the future of this game. I know when you look at like the loudest voices in the community, it sounds like this game is just the worst thing that ever happened to mobile. Bethesda's dead. It's not that bad. In fact, it's actually pretty good, especially if you're bought into that gameplay loop. I can see people having a ton of fun with this game, and I think it's only going to get better. It's a pretty good foundation. At the end of the day, it still is Bethesda. You would expect them to come out a little bit more solid, considering they have a AAA background. They have some of the most iconic games in PC history under their belt, so you would think their first attempt would have been a little bit more solid, but what they have is good. And I do feel like if they continue to do changes as fast as they've already done, this game is actually going to be something to watch. So Elder Scrolls Blades, my overall opinion, not bad. So another major title that we saw released was Valkyrie ANATOMIA: The Origin. Now, I gotta say, since my first video, I've been playing this game less and less every single day, to the point now where I think it's safe to say that I won't be playing this game any further until there's like a major update or some type of major collaboration that I'm into. Then I might revisit the title. But overall, my sentiments now for this game are just kind of disappointing. I did like the character stories. Now, that was one thing that I don't want to take away from the game. If I ran like a game of the year right now, Valkyrie ANATOMIA would definitely get top marks when it comes to these character stories. They are extremely good and extremely gripping, so definitely have kudos when it comes to the individual character stories. The combat I thought was fine. The character art I wasn't really in love with, but I know this game has tons and tons of high-profile collaborations in the work, so as long as these collaborations come out, I don't think the character issue is that big of a problem. But what really kind of lost me with this game was the overall daily gameplay loop. So let's talk about gameplay loops for a second. When you're playing a brand new game and you're checking it out, you're kind of in that honeymoon phase, you're checking out all the content and your features, but in the back of your head, you start to realize, do I want to do this every single day? Because that's what it boils down to, right? When it comes to these games, you do have to log in and do progression every single day. So the overall daily gameplay loop still has to be engaging. You can have all the best content in the world, but if it's a chore to do every day, you're gonna lose people. And I think every single day I was logging in and kind of running dungeons, like I think the dungeon layout in this game was just a bad decision. Does anyone like the aspect of going from like tile to tile to tile, searching and doing combat? Does anyone like that? I didn't like it, and the more I did it, the more I didn't want to do it anymore. I feel like if a hero collector wants to do something like this, they need to go full-blown RPG where you actually, explore dungeons like a real RPG, or go the hero collector route and then just make it stage-based. This like little middle ground, this little hodgepodge between exploring a dungeon, but not really, because it's really just kind of going to nodes and stages. Like, I think that's a bad move. I think it doesn't please any crowd, and I think overall it just kind of was just tiresome. I didn't want to do it anymore. So, but you guys know what I always say, that's just one man's opinion. My opinion is not law, and the good thing about mobile games is that they're free, so you can try it out for yourself. Valkyrie ANATOMIA: The Origin. So now it is time for FG3000 to lose all credibility whatsoever. So during a week where Bethesda, the legendary PC RPG game developer, dropped the Elder Scrolls Blades, during the same exact week where the legendary, iconic JRPG RPG game development studio house, Square Enix, drops Valkyrie ANATOMIA: The Origin, my favorite game, during that same week was AFK Arena, an idle game. Wait, had you told me this a month ago? Hey, FG, Bethesda and Square Enix are gonna drop a game during the same exact week, and you're not gonna like either one of those. Your favorite game is gonna be AFK Arena, an idle game. Enjoy. There's your prediction. I would have been like, you have the worst predictions ever. No. FG, you got the worst predictions, because that's the reality. AFK Arena, very awesome game. Now, I'm not gonna talk this game up more than it really is. At the end of the day, AFK Arena is an idle game. It's gonna be one of those games where you don't have to worry about grinding whatsoever. You don't have to keep your phone or your emulator on all day. Whether you're online or offline, your characters will constantly grind gear, EXP, equipment. The only thing that you have to do in AFK Arena is the fun stuff. So the upgrading your characters, you're ascending your characters, unlocking new skills, equipping new gear, summoning new characters, PvP, guild raids. You do all of the fun stuff and none of the boring grindy stuff. So that is the appeal of idle games, and I feel like more games need to go this route. Believe it or not, I don't really like games that force you to keep your computer on or keep your phone on 24/7. If you're gonna go that route, just make it idle. If I'm not gonna be paying attention to what's going on, just make it idle. So hopefully more games kind of add a little bit of idle features to the game. Not too much, and only in games where you're forced to grind all day. If you have to grind all day, just make it idle. So AFK Arena, I highly recommend this title. I know a lot of people are kind of adverse when they hear idle game, but this is the one that you try. If you have never played an idle game, or if you played idle games before, this is the one that you try. If you don't like AFK Arena, I don't think that you need to try any other games. This is like probably the cream of the crop right now. Fantastic art style, great enemies, good streamlining, good quality of life. Overall, I'm very pleased with this title. The only thing I do have a beef with is this is one of those games that has like a billion servers. Like, I'm on server 51. Really? The game just came out. I'm on server 51. What's gonna happen when my server dies? Nothing. I'm gonna be there by myself idling forever. So I don't like that. Maybe they'll do some really aggressive, and I do mean aggressive, like server merges very often. Maybe that can salvage it. I do notice when I look at the guild feature in this game, it specifies what server your guild mates are on. So my guild right now, everyone's on server 51, but maybe that kind of gives a prelude to the future that maybe some things are going to be more and more cross server. So if they can make it pretty cross server for the most part, then maybe some of those beefs aren't as deal breaker-ish as I kind of feel they are right now. So AFK Arena, highly recommended in my opinion, the best title that was released this week. So there you have it. So that will do it for all major release titles. Moving on to some future releases. Now, we're a little bit closer to seeing Overhit over here on the global side. Nexon has launched an official Facebook page for Overhit Global, so we're getting a little bit closer, but we still don't have a confirmed release date at this time. So the Azure Lane development team has a new title on the way called Mahjong Soul. Yes, Mahjong the board game. So this is brought to you by the Azure Lane development team, which I know is very popular over here in the gacha world. So very curious to see what they come up with. I have no idea what to expect between a Mahjong waifu collector. I don't know. But the cool thing about this game, and one thing that I have to commend them on, this game will be simultaneously released in Japan and global this spring. So I love that. I love the fact that we don't have to wait years and years for this game to come out stateside. So be on the lookout for a Mahjong Soul. We're going to be talking about this one really soon. Now, we do have a little bit of bad news concerning Shining Beyond. So this is a title that we covered in the previous mobile gaming recap. This is a brand new hero collector brought to you by the Valiant Force team. Now, this game was supposed to be released a little bit sooner. However, it is going to be delayed in Q3 or Q4. So delays suck, but at the end of the day, this is more development time to make this title even better. The hero collecting genre in mobile is very fierce and competitive. If you come out with a weak title, you are basically doomed. It's so hard to come back. So take all the time you guys need to make sure this title is as good as it can be once it comes out in Q3 and Q4. In the meantime, they have released some screenshots of the character select screen, as well as one of the more a prominent waifu characters. So thank you for that. But don't worry, it's not all bad. We do have one title on the horizon for April 30th. This is Revue Starlight. So it looks like a rhythm game, but it's supposed to play like a normal hero collector. So of course, once this game comes out on the 30th, I will be there day one with a first impression. But if you need something to play a little bit sooner than April 30th, on April the 16th, there's a brand new title called Soul Destiny on the way. This looks to be like a typical generic mobile MMO autoplay style game. I don't know for 100% sure if I'm even gonna cover it, but if you need something to play before April 30th, there you go. And now it is time to end the mobile gaming recap as we always do, ladies and gentlemen, with the quick hit, starting off with Dragalia Lost. Guess what Dragalia Lost did, ladies and gentlemen? They are removing worm prints from the summoning banner. So now summoning banners are only going to be adventurers and dragons. You're gonna get worm prints in a different way now. So I know a lot of people didn't like the fact that Dragalia Lost did have pity pools when it came to just kind of having really bad luck, but those pity pools could be broken by getting a worm print, which has never felt good. So good on Side Games once again, making Dragalia Lost a blast to play right in time for that Fire Emblem Heroes crossover that's on the way as well. The date on that is April the 26th. Over in the world of my favorite waifu collector, Destiny Child, they have released a 20-person world boss raid, and it's absolutely just as insane as you think it is. So not just Destiny Child, ladies and gentlemen, Looney Tunes World of Mayhem has also added a boss raid as well in the form of Monster Tweety, ladies and gentlemen. So this is quite the unique encounter. Basically, Monster Tweety's whole claim to fame is that he does more damage to you if you are not hidden. So you definitely want to bring tunes to this fight that can hide themselves or hide their teammates. Pretty unique concept, and I cannot wait to see more in the Looney Tunes World of Mayhem. So hey, I heard you like raid bosses. So Destiny Child has added raid bosses, Looney Tunes has added raid bosses, and now Disney Heroes Battle Mode will be adding raid bosses as well in a brand new mode called Invasion. It's not out quite yet, but do not worry, the day it drops, I will be giving you guys some up-to-date thoughts on their brand new game mode. The Alchemist Code has a brand new collaboration going on with Etrian Odyssey. And last but not least, Girls Frontline has a major patch update which includes brand new refinements to auto battle, planning mode optimizations, and of course a veteran callback campaign. So if you put down Girls Frontline a long time ago, now is the time to come back because there's all type of rewards for returning players. So that will do it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, once again, my name is FG3000. That was the Mobile Gaming Recap, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Instagram and Twitter.